Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Praise Yah. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining Restoring the Branches ministry. We always say peace to the tribes of Israel. Peace to those who are scattered abroad, as James or Yaakov says in our New Testament. To those that have been scattered abroad all over. Peace to you. We do not limit this just to Israel, but this is for all those who have accepted Mashiach. Once you accept Mashiach, you have not been grafted into Israel. So peace to you as well.
Amen.
We always say that we get it, right? A lot of people in Christianity are at a place where we ain't. Okay, they on the other side. We got to be praying that Yah will remove the blindness from their eyes so that they can cross over too.
Hallelujah.
You want to be a Hebrew? Cross over.
Hallelujah.
Huh? Everybody want to be a Hebrew but not do the works like a Hebrew. But you got to cross over. You got to go sojourn in a strange land.
Yeah.
You got to do things that you don't want to do. You got to trust in a higher power.
Yes.
So peace to all of those of the scattered, all of those who have accepted Mashiach, whether they know or not know. Peace to them as well, and peace to those who are in suffering. We can never leave out the widows, the poor, those who are in pain. Can never leave them out. That this word is for them. All right, Mashiach was very clear. I ain't come for those who's healthy. Huh? I ain't coming for that boy that can run a mile in 5 minutes. Huh? I'm coming for the one who can't walk.
That's right.
Hmm? He come for those who need a physician.
Yes.
And Yahshua HaMashiach is the great physician.
Yeah.
So we cannot be a people that deny the doctor appointment.
Yeah.
Gotta have them. We need them. Embrace them. So peace to, I think I pretty much covered everybody. Peace to all the people. And we will get started, jump right into it today. Go ahead and get my timer. We ain't playing around today. The message or title today, An Open Path.
Yeah.
The lead of a king. A lot of times, especially in this new era, and everybody know, peace king, what up king, what up queen, king. King a leader. King go first. They had to force David off the battlefield. We cannot have the light quench in Israel. You want to know why I got jammed up with Bathsheba? Because he wasn't fighting. He wasn't on the front line no more. Anyway, kings go first. Kings lead away. So we're going to talk about an open path for all of us. And that open path is there because of a king. Someone went through like royalty. Royalty. He went through, made a way.
Yeah.
So that we could follow in behind. Not make our own way. Not be your own king. Not set up your own kingdom. Yochanan 14:6, John 14:6. Yahshua said unto him, I am the what? Way. I am the way. I am the way. The truth and the life.
Hallelujah.
No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Brother, can you give me John 6:44 right quick? And John 6:44 right quick. He says, he is the way. No other way. John 6:44 right quick.
No one is able to come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him.
Unless the Father did what?
Draws him.
Yeah.
So y'all got to draw first. And then once he draws, he sends you to him whom he sent. One more time, brother. You know I'm slow.
No one is able to come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him.
So in Yochanan 14:6, I am the way. I am the way.
Yeah.
There's no other way through this. Folks got that Oprah mentality. Remember Oprah some years ago? She said, there's thousands of ways to get to heaven or get to your God. There's thousands of roads to get there. don't believe it. If I had an egg, I'd have threw at them. Y'all be ashamed of yourself saying that mess. And folks is falling in because it's open. Yeah, yes, right, yeah. Have mercy. Have mercy. All right, we're going to turn to the book of, what's that? Hebrew people. Book of what?
Oh, don't say it.
Ephraim. So book of Hebrews. There we go. We're going to turn to Hebrews 10. Okay, Hebrews 10. We're going to get it in one way or the other. We're gonna get it in. Hebrews 10, let's start, y'all, in verse 16. Verse 16. All right, Hebrews 10, verse 16. And it reads, "This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days. And I will put the laws into the hearts, into their minds." My scripture's torn up, literally, sorry. Somebody read 16 for me.
Hebrews.
Yeah, Hebrews 10 and 16, literally somebody ripped my page. I ain't gonna say no names. But I better start with a J. I bet. There's 4 suspects.
10:16. 10:16. No.
Yeah, 16, please.
This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, says the Lord. I will put my laws in their hearts and in their minds. I will write them. Then he adds, their sins and their lawless deeds I will remember no more.
Wait, keep going. Go to 17.
Now where there is a remission of these, there is no longer an offering for sin.
Okay, good. I'm rest I got. And verse 19. "Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiest, by the blood of Yahshua, by a new and living way, which he hath consecrated for, by a new and living
way.
By a new and living
Way.
he hath consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh." Look at your neighbor and say, his flesh.
His flesh.
So through the body that was formed for him, he made a way that we could enter in. Did I read that right?
Yes, sir.
You know I'm slow. By a new and living way, which he has consecrated for us through the veil. We know what the veil is. Where is the veil at? It separates some stuff, don't it? He said, "Moses, you tell Aaron and all his sons that you do not come in behind this veil. And only at a specific time of the year. Other than that, I got to cut you. I got to cut you. Don't you come back behind here. Now you drag them boys' bodies up out of here." Right? So the veil is where the ark is, where the throne is. This is where this unknown power sits and rests and comes face to face with man. But since you got blood, I ain't going to kill you. I ain't going to kill you. And I don't even mean to kill you. I'm just so cold with it. Just who I am and who you are in this measly little body and who I am in my great magnitude of power, you're going to die. So look with Yahshua, now verse 20 again, "By a new and living way, which he hath consecrated for us through the veil," right? So you see the veil now, right? You got your menorah, you got your table of showbread, you got the altar of incense, you got a veil, and then on the other side. So we're talking about through this veil. He says that, but that is to say really the flesh. So by a new living way, which he has consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say his flesh. So when he died, something happened. Once again, if the adversaries in this team would have known the magnitude of his death, they wouldn't have done it. Because what they did was they messed up. I need that brother from what's that movie game? You done messed up now. I need that brother. I need him right now. I just played it right now. You know you done messed up now. You done messed up right now. So if they would have known what was, so he made a way through the veil, that is to say his flesh, and having a high priest over the house of Elohim, let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance. So now you can really get close if your heart is true. So if you really want to go in, you can go in.
Amen.
And not only can you go, you can go in boldly. Why would the scripture say that you can go in boldly? Because if they come in any other time, they're a dead man walking. Does that make, that's why they say you can go through boldly now. Not just to, I claim it. No. You can go in behind it into this place
Thank you, Father.
where the throne is.
Yeah.
Because he made a way through the flesh. He tore a veil, that is to say the flesh, to where you can go in boldly if your heart is true. In full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering. For he is faithful that promised. He's not going to waver. He ain't going to tiptoe over the line like we do. He ain't going to go back and forth. Up one day, down one day, in one day, out one day. He ain't going to be like that. All right? He ain't going to be like ceiling fan. Just spinning around, just going around. He ain't going to do that. That's us. That's us on our part. So he has made a way. Someone has made a way. Yahshua said, I am the way.
Yeah.
Read and have brother over there read John 6 and 44. Right? Read one more time. John 6 and 44.
Hallelujah.
No one is able to come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him, and I shall raise him up on the last day.
So you ain't getting to Yahshua unless the Father sends you to him. Okay? There's some unison going on. And now there's a way to go through. Right? The veil has been torn, or that is to say, his flesh. Right? And we are living in what? Flesh. So he made a way for Jeremiah. It's up here on the screen. 6 and 16. Jeremiah 6 and 16. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and see and ask for the old path. Where is the good what?
Way.
Where is the good
Way.
What did he say in John 14 and 6? I am the
Way.
I am the
Way.
And then we have the prophet saying that where is the good way? And walk therein. Walk in it. Walk it out. Walk in it. And ye shall find rest for your souls. You shall find. So if you're in the good way, if you ask for the old path, where is the good way? And if you walk in it, you live it. You live it. Not just being an actor.
Hallelujah.
Okay? Not just being an actor or an actress. You got to live it.
Yeah.
This ain't no script. This ain't no part in the play you're practicing for. I know if Denzel put his mind to it, he can be a football coach, he can be a gangster over here, he can be a Civil War star. You got to live it. Where's the good way, and walk therein, you shall find rest for your souls. But they said, what did he say? What did he say? What did he say? That's how they be looking at our people, though. Especially when it comes to sin. Especially when it comes to having a standard and having discipline. And having some fight in your body. What did he say? We will not walk therein. We will not walk therein. So we will not walk. We will not live. We will not practice. We will not rehearse. We will not participate. We will not show up. We have nothing to do with this old path and these good ways. Even the comedians are, hold up. What did you just say? Little babies, even babies get, oh no, don't say that. I grew up on He-Man. Even He-Man slapping his head like, what's going on? Did they say that? Man, they said that. And we still live it today. Because when it comes to Yahshua being the way, the truth, and life, I can't get to the truth of the life. I don't even like the way. How do we get the truth of life, though? But that's what we do. We like kids. You draw them blocks, get that chalk, you get some chalk, you draw them hopscotch, you play the hop, you just jump. You just jump over. People just jump over stuff. Yah is about progression.
Yeah.
And go step by step. Just go step by step. One step at a time. One day at a time. We're trying to hop over and skip over stuff. We try to get the truth and want to live and have life. And what about the way? You ain't walked in it. And if you ain't walking in the way, how you have rest for your soul? There's never no shalom for you. There's never no ceasing for you. Don't worry about it. Ephesians 2. Ephesians 2. 2 and 13. He-Man has smacked his head like, come on, man. I'm fake. From the animated world. I get that. He-Man, power Grayskull. Yeah, mercy. I used to have to watch Oprah. Look, I used to have to watch Oprah because He-Man come on out. Look, I couldn't get to He-Man until Oprah and my mom and grandma said, they're gonna watch that Oprah. Man, I can't wait till this go out. He-Man come on. He-Man and She-Ra. Anyway, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 13, and it reads, but now in Christ, now in the Mashiach, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Mashiach. Now we started off in Hebrews 10, and that you're able to go in now. Right? Your heart got to be right. Your heart is sprinkled with this pure water. Where that pure water come? Where the pure water come from? It's hard to drink water here now. Water got all kind of stuff in it and all kind of mess in it. But your heart has to be sprinkled with something that's pure. You know, like the way Moses them used to have to sprinkle to get the hyssop and dip it in the blood. And over in the side of the tabernacle. Dip it on the covenant and sprinkle on the people. So that hasn't changed. That's why they write how they write. That's why we always got to keep that what did the author think or in that cultural context. So when he says that, but now in Mashiach, you are sometimes far off or made nigh by the blood. You can enter in because you got blood. So we can come boldly because of the blood. And the heart's right. Because of the blood. And your heart's right. You can go far in Mashiach. You can go far. You can go far. We always know who the number one adversary is. I know that old rascally devil. No, look in the mirror. Woo! Look in the mirror. You know what the devil did today? Look in the mirror. Verse 14. For he is our peace, who hath made both one and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us. Look, y'all sure was tearing stuff up now. And we just read in Hebrews about how he tore the what? Veil. That was to be, really, they were talking about the flesh. Says you get next, like he tore up the middle wall of partition between us, having abolished in his what? Flesh. Yes. Having abolished in his what? Flesh. So they have an understanding that we must understand. But in order to understand, we gotta overstand. You have to have an overstanding. You have to be on top of the matter. Because if you have overstanding, then now you become an overcomer.
Hallelujah.
And the overcomers, they're the ones who are called blessed. You may enter into this kingdom. You have inherited life. Having abolished in his flesh the what? Enmity. So in his flesh he abolished enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances, for to make in himself of twain one new man, so making peace, that he might reconcile both unto Elohim in one body by the cross, having slain the enmity thereby. So looking at that, and we've been blessed to do this for 10. I know some been doing it longer. Okay, and in this section here, I've heard this broken down from the Gentiles and coming to and worship, or obviously from the Hebrew Israelite perspective, and there's different perspectives. There's different perspectives about this. We're going to keen in on one word that is used, and it's very powerful. Okay, enmity. Enmity. Because what we just read, was that having abolished in his flesh the enmity, verse 15, even the law of commandments containing ordinances, for the making himself of twain one new man, so making peace, that he might reconcile both to Elohim in one body by the cross, having slain the enmity thereby. So we have to look at enmity. What in the world? Enmity. What is that, Hebrew students up top? Eva. Eva. Okay, so enmity is eva, right? It's a feminine noun, right? It means enmity or hatred, i.e. a hostile mind. What was part of the study this morning? Was about the what? Mind. The old song I used to listen to growing up. Mind playing tricks on me. Once again, in this fight, in this spiritual fight, you behind the 8 ball. When you sometimes we think we and Hasatan just pulling you, just pulling you like a yo-yo. You got you looking like them when them people, and one people be playing basketball, they having some any old joke out there, crossing them up, throwing the ball at them, making them look foolish. That's the enemy, just jerking us all around the place. So enmity is hatred, and examples like having a hostile mind. This is what Yahshua destroyed. Your mind. You are more free in your mind than you believe. Once again, there's an open field for you to go. There's a path for you to walk through. You just got to go. You got to ask. You got to go. What's that second word?
Ayav.
Ayav. Thank you, sir. Very good. Ayav. Ayav. This is the child root. This is the action. It means to be hostile. Right? To be an enemy to the opposite tribe or group. An enemy. An enemy is in, I got a problem with you. I'm not trying to shake your hand. I want your sugar. I want to kill you. I want to destroy you. You're an enemy. That sinks in. Genesis 3:15 is up here for you. And I will put enmity between thee. Now, who is thee? I got a parentheses for you. The serpent and the woman. So, enmity, the eva, hostility. Enemy, off top. This is deep. Excuse me. This is deeper between bloods. This is deeper than Bloods and Crips. It's deeper than Vice Lords and GDs. This is deeper than Republicans and Democrats. This is deeper between the NFC Central, the teams or the NFC East Division. This is deep. Yah says, I will put. So you know it's there. You know it's there. I will put in enmity. So there's this hostility. Remember that movie Denzel was in, Remember the Titans? And when they went to, they first they had all this stuff, but when he got them boys along, and they went off to camp, and they was doing them drills, and when he finally got them, he said, what is water? Fresh bread. I don't need no water. Mobile, agile, hostile. You know it is on that field. I'm going to knock your head off. But when you're playing the game or sports, you say, just shake it off and then you move on and shake hands. Y'all said this ain't no game. This is for real.
Yes.
Enmity between thee and the woman. He got more specific. And between thy seed and hers, he got more specific. You want to, look, he'll tell you. He'll lay it out for you. And between thy seed and her seed, it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. What's that saying about, you heard that phrase, hey, if you want to take out this team, you got to take out the head. Or if you want to get rid of the snake, you got to take out the head. Kill the head. Cut the head off. So the woman's seed has the ability to do something to the head, to decapitate the head of the serpent seed. And y'all said, I'm going to put enmity. So when we look at Ephesians 2, he says, having abolished in his flesh the enmity. It means there was victory. I mean, the enemy actually lost. There was something powerful Yahshua HaMashiach said on the cross. He said, it is finished. He said, it is finished.
Yes.
Because he did this in the flesh. There was a prophecy, Genesis 3 and 15. And the son of Elohim was on that cross, on that stake. He said, it is finished. Had magnitudes, what he said. And I got it here in Hebrew for you. Okay, but we see the evad there highlighted for you. The enmity. The enmity. Okay. We're going to look at something. Let's turn to Job 29. We're going to look at a parable that Job, yes, Job got some good stuff. Every time you say Job, think about, oh man, old Job, he kind of lost his way there a little bit. Man, please. But get in that book. Last I checked, Ezekiel, he said, you better be like Job.
Yeah.
When I come through with that sword, you better be like Job. Your children better be like Job too. He also said Noah and Daniel. He sure brought out Job. But you know, just that mindset, way folks been talking, old Job, he kind of lost in the old Peter. Man, Peter led the revolution. Never mind. Job 29. We'll read this whole chapter. Verse 1. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when God preserved me, when his candle shined upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness. Have you heard that before? Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, thy rod and thy staff, it comforts me. And this is the same Job a little bit later that Yah comes up in the whirlwind and he says, can you knock on the doors of the shadow of death? On the Zalmavet. Can you knock on them doors? No, he couldn't. But that all that meant was someone will.
Yeah.
Someone did. Right? Verse 4. I was in the days of my youth when the secret of God was upon my tabernacle. When the Almighty was yet with me. When my children were about me. When I washed my steps with butter and the rock poured me out rivers of oil. When I went out to the gate to the city. When I prepared my seat in the street. The young men saw me and hid themselves. And the aged arose and stood up. The princes refrained talking and laid their hand on their mouth. The nobles held their peace and their tongue clave to the roof of their mouth. Sounds like somebody very important, very powerful coming through. Princes shutting up. Huh? This is a parable now. I thought Job was I'm going through some things. I'm going through. Verse 11. When the ear heard me, then it blessed me. When the eye saw me, it gave witness to me, because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness. I put on righteousness. Remember, Job's giving a parable. You know, sometimes when folks be giving parables, they be in the what? Spirit. And it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. I was eyes to the blind. Job, did you ever heal someone who was blind? But see, it was written in the volume of the book. Ain't that what you read this morning? Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me.
Yes, sir.
And feet was I to the lame. Job, who you done made stand up? Who you say stand up, pick up your bed and walk? Who you done said thy sins are forgiven? Verse 16. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out. I love this. This got me fired up during the week. And I break the jaws of the wicked. He said, I'll pop you in your mouth and pluck the spoil out of his teeth. He said, give my lamb back. Then I said, I shall die in my nest. I shall multiply my days as the sand. My root was spread out by the waters. By the dew lay all night upon my branch. My glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. Unto me men gave ear, and waited and kept silence at my counsel. After my words they spake not again, and my speech dropped upon them. And they waited for me as for the rain. Hope you're paying attention. And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. If I laughed on them, they believed it not, and the light of my countenance they cast not down. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king, and dwelt as a king, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforteth the mourners. I ain't the smartest man, but I thought there was something about, in the end, like in Revelation, close to the end, about tears being wiped away and no more mourning. I mean, Joe wouldn't be talking about that. That wouldn't make no sense. And we could have just did Job 22 through 25. But I said it's so good, and we want to have good context of this chapter. We need to read the whole chapter. Just better just read the whole chapter. Okay, so we want to pull out from that the king. Okay, I chose a king out their way and said, I chose out their way. Right? What did Yahshua say? I am the
way.
I am the
Way.
right? I am the way. I chose out their way. Job chose the way. I thought Job was struggling. We're going through some things. I'm going through some things. I chose out their way and sat chief and dwelt as a king. My mom used to do. Some hit home like, John 19. John 19. I'm going to do that next time I see her. John 19 and 1. I'm going to pull a little bit out from Bible study. John, remember what he said now. He said he chose out their way. He's like a king dwelling among them. John 19 and 1. Then Pilate therefore took Yahshua and scourged him. The soldiers planted a crown of thorns and put it upon his head, and they put on him a purple robe. Now I forgot also, I think in Job 29th chapter, they talked about a garment. And I think my wife pulled out that the purple robe stood for royalty, okay, high honor. Okay, verse 3, and said, Hail, King of the Yehudim. And they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again and said unto them, Behold, I bring him forth to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him. Then came forth Yahshua. Then came Yahshua forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. And Pilate said unto them, Behold the man. Okay, behold the man. So we talked about the other day about literally before Mashiach leaves this earth, he was crowned king. It was disrespectful. It was a mockery. It was a ha. But this ain't no laughing matter. He was crowned king. We're going. Sorry, I had it up there for you already. My bad. All right. So now 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel. Okay. Shmuel, and if we know, this is when Samuel's getting old. All right, and it's the time, still in the time of Judges, and Samuel's getting old now. And we'll pick up in verse 3. That's 1 and 2. We'll pick up in verse 3. And his sons walked not in his way, talking about Samuel's sons, but turned aside after lucre. Okay, took bribes, like they were hustling, pimping, right? Nothing new. Took bribes and perverted judgment, right? Which we're not supposed to do, right? You ain't supposed to have a different judgment if someone's poor, or if someone's wealthy, or if that's Luann little boy, Luann and them, they own the shop down. It don't matter who it is. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel and to Ramah and said unto him, Behold, thou art old. You're getting old, man. It's a new day. It's time to step aside. Thy sons, they don't even walk in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all other nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king. To do what? To judge us. keep that in mind. We want a king so that we can be judged right.
Mhm.
Right? Someone that can mishpat correctly. Samuel prayed to the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken to the voice of thy people, and all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me. Why? That I, highlighted, should not reign. That I should not reign. And we just went through this deep parable, Job. He talked about someone that made a way for them. And the one that made a way for them, it was like a king in the midst of them. Thou should not reign over them. Let's turn to 1 Samuel 12. We'll have to read this together. If I put all the stuff up here, it'll keep us from working our fingers and turning pages. I think reading exercise your mind. After looking at that video this morning, it exercised my mind some more. Don't we though?
Amen.
It exercise our mind, it exercise our spirit. Praying. Exercise our brain by reading, exercise our body too.
Amen.
One of my college coaches said, he said, you ain't no lean, mean fighting machine. We gotta be lean, mean, y'all machines.
Yeah.
Mind gotta be right. Spirit gotta be right. Right? We just gotta be right so y'all can do stuff with us. You know, it's like having a car. It's like, yeah, you know, sometimes you say, yeah, we're gonna go 2 hours down the road. Somebody say, man, I would go. My car ain't gonna make it. Don't be that car. All right, don't be that car. Y'all like, man, I got this mission over here. He ain't gonna make it. Now that car over there, that car will make it. But that Varner car, it ain't gonna make it. Don't be that car. 1 Samuel 12. We're gonna pick up in verse 10. They cried unto the Lord and said, we have sinned because we have forsaken the Lord and have served Baalim and Ashtaroth, but now deliver us out of the hand of our enemies. The hand of our enemies, because we looked at earlier about the enmity. So this is forever. We will serve thee. And the Lord set Jerubbaal and Badan and Jephthah and Samuel and delivered you out of the hand of your enemies on every side, and you dwelt safe. And when you saw that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, came against you, you said unto me, nay, but a king shall reign over us, when the Lord your God was your king. When the Lord your God was your king. So we've had a king. We've all had a divine king. That's why every other people group, you know, Rome and the Grecians and pharaohs and Egyptians, when they have a king or a pharaoh, they would always try to say, hey, he the God king, divine man. That's why in that movie 300, when the Spartans were fighting the Persians, and at the very end, they was going to give up over to Xerxes. They was going to give up, and they had a plan, and they took a spear and they threw a spear. Remember, the spear hit Xerxes right in the ear or on the cheek, and Leonidas said, "He bleeds," because the word was he's a god. He's a god. So when he threw that spear, he bleeds. Man, they jumped over. They lost. Them folks was scrapping because you're not a god. But in reality, the Hebrews, their God is so God, he can come down and be man amongst the people. And when he did it, they didn't know it. Some of them did. But the ones who should have been paying attention was like,
They missed their vegetation.
I don't want that. Had more fear of the Romans. Verse 13. Now therefore, behold the king whom ye have chosen and whom ye have desired. And behold, the Lord has set a king over you. If you will fear the Lord and serve and obey his voice and not rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then both ye and also the king that reigneth over you continue following the Lord your God. So you still got to follow him. You still got to follow the prescribed way, you and your king. You got to follow the real king, but like a little baby, wham, 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 pacify them out. Now it's quiet. So he put a pass in their mouth. I give you somebody. He's Shaul. Tall brother, handsome brother. Like, oh, Shaul. Handsome brother. Tall brother, strong, big old wide shoulders. Strong brother.
No strong.
I wouldn't. Big old strong brother, wide shoulders, tall brother. We know how that ended up going. And went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And went to indoor. So he had no hope. Romans 15:4 hadn't happened yet. He had no hope. He was like, Witch of Endor, please pull up Samuel. Samuel woke up so mad. He woke me out of my rest. I should slap you. He was mad. But we'll say that for another day. The king that reigneth over you continue following the Lord your God. Verse 15. But if you will not obey the voice of the Lord, but rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall the hand of Yah be against you as it were your fathers. Now therefore stand and see this great thing which Yah will do before your eyes. Is it not wheat harvest today? I will call Yah, and he shall send thunder and rain, that ye may perceive and see that your wickedness is great, which ye have done in the sight of Yahweh, and asking you a king. So Samuel called unto Yah, and Yah sent thunder and rain that day. And all the people greatly feared Yah and Samuel. And all the people said unto Samuel, Pray for thy servants and the Lord thy God, that we die not, for we have added unto all our sins this evil to ask us a king. And Samuel said unto the people, Fear not, ye have done all this wickedness, yet turn not aside from following. You still got to follow after the path, right? There's a way, right? The king goes before you. The king has made a way. Okay, following the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart. Turn ye not aside, for then should ye go after vain things which cannot profit nor deliver. Which cannot profit nor deliver. They cannot save you. We are still trying to save ourselves. You can't do it. His hand must save you. His hand must protect you. For they are vain. For the Lord will not forsake his people for his great name's sake. His reputation's on the line. Right? He has a great reputation. Because it has pleased the Lord to make you his people. Moreover, as for me, God forbid that I should sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you, but I will teach you the good and right way. What do we say in Jeremiah 6? Yes. Ask about the old path and the good way. And someone said, I am the way. Okay. Just make sure we keep it up now. Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart. Because he said he was the way and the what? Truth and life. Yes. For consider how great things he hath done for you. But if ye shall still do wickedly, ye shall be consumed, both you and your king. You and your king. It's like big worm. I'm going to give you and him. And Craig like, whoa, I ain't do it. Word. I ain't do it. Parables, let's look at chapter 30. We got to go back to Job. Look what Job, something else. Job, once again, deep in the spirit. Job going in. So on the 29th, we're looking at things that Job is saying. It's like he's talking about someone that demands attention, princes, people of highest, astute, high caliber. Imagine when we had that picture of the G20 summit a couple weeks ago, all the world leaders. Imagine all the world leaders, and imagine someone who is so powerful, so much majesty, so much royalty, of divine presence, Yahshua HaMashiach, and all them doing this. Imagine Donald Trump doing that.
Shut your mouth.
Vladimir Putin. Xi Jinping, the little crazy dude from North Korea. So he's anyway, 30. Job 30. And it reads, But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former time desolate and waste. Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And now I am their song, yea, I am their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face. What happened when Yahshua was brought forth and they were bop, it's like bop upside his head, bop upside his head. You hear what Job just said? He said, man, they hate me. They flee far from me and spare not to spit in my face, because he hath loosed my cord and afflicted me. They have also let loose the bridle before me. Upon my right hand rise the youth. They push away my feet. They raise up against me the ways of their destruction. Pay attention, verse 13. They mar my path. Message, they mar my path. They set forward my calamity. They have no helper. So they marred my path. They're planning to kill me. Verse 14. They come upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. There was a night after Yahshua got through praying with the disciples, wasn't it? They came deep. Torches and a band of men, swords and torches and deep. They came in like a wave. Crashed on him. He just stood there. Actually, before he stood there, you know what he said? He said, who you looking for? He said, we're looking for Yahshua of Nazareth. You know what he said? I am he. The foes fell back to the ground. But see, it wasn't meant for them. It was meant for them to be very blind right then to realize that this is the stone of stumbling. That this is the snare and a gin to both the houses of Israel and Judah. The play, the roll, the script. It's got a roll, baby. These words that have been said about him, whether it was Job said it, Isaiah said it, whether Moses said it, whether whoever said it, it's got to be. Because he has to make a way for us. The king had to go first and lead the way.
Yes. Amen.
If that makes sense. Verse 15. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as the wind. And my welfare pass away as a cloud. And now my soul is poured out upon me. My soul is poured out upon me. They took a spear and on the side, and that out came out what? Blood and water.
Yes, sir.
Now pay attention. And now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. But the great force of my disease is my garment changed. Then he prayed so bad. He was praying so hard. It was so serious. It was sweating blood, wasn't it? By the great force of my disease is my garment changed. He say, man, look, he was praying to y'all. I'll pass this cup, but if I got to take this cup, for your name's sake, I'll take the cup now. I'll go and take this cup. It bindeth me about as the collar of my coat. It bindeth him about as the collar of a coat. Maybe like a tunic that didn't get torn, but just cast lots for it. That sound familiar? He said the volume book's written to me. I don't care who you read. All these knucklehead Israelites that say ain't no Yahshua or David or whatever. I don't even keep up with the hottest trend now. Everywhere you read in this book, you're going to see him. Verse 19. He has cast me into the mire. I am become like dust and ashes. I cry unto thee, and thou dost not hear me. I stand up, and thou regardest me not. Thou art become cruel to me. With thy strong hand thou opposest thyself against me. Thou liftest me up to the wind. Thou causest me to ride upon it and dissolve my substance. Do we see that? Thou art become cruel to me. With thy strong hand thou opposest thyself against me. Thou liftest me up to the wind. Is that not what happened when he got laid down? Someone said, get up. And he was with his Talmudim, his students, for 40 days. And they said, look here. Stay here in Jerusalem. Don't leave to the promise of my Father. And then you won't believe this. He went up. He was carried up. What did Job say? Look at 21. Thou become cruel to me. With thy strong hand thou hast opposed thyself against me. Right? It pleased Yah to smite him, to bruise him for a greater cause. There's a way for you to walk now. Verse 22, thou liftest me up to the wind. Thou causes me to ride upon it. And dissolve my substance. For I know that thou wilt bring me to death and to the house appointed for all the living. Howbeit he will not stretch out his hand to the grave, though they cried his destruction. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? When I looked for good, then evil came unto me. When I waited for light, there came darkness. My bowels boiled, and rested not. The days of affliction prevented me. I went mourning without the sun. I stood up and I cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned up with the heat. My heart also is turned to the mourning, and my organ into the voice of them that weep. So what path was marred? Right? It was the old path. Right? The old path that was marred. Yahshua was marred, wasn't he? It was hard to look at. If you loved him, there was no way you could look at him. We'll look at Matthew 11. Matthew 11, verse 28. I got up here for you. Come unto me. Come unto me. Come unto me. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So in Jeremiah, he said, you got to stand up. You got to go ask for the old path. Where are the good ways? But notice when you go in the good ways, evil might come find you, like it did him. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Learn. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls. Okay. So in order to learn, I got to listen. When I be at work, working all these little kids, say, how many of y'all want to be good? They go, I want to be good. I want to be good. You got to listen. You got to listen. Can't talk grown folks talking. You're going to miss out on something. You got to listen. To get the information, and then apply the information to your life. So you got to learn of him, because he's meek and lowly in heart. I ain't like Molech and them. I ain't gonna make you kill your baby. I ain't gonna make you do none of this crazy stuff folks be doing, so that you can grow in power. I ain't gonna do none of that stuff. I'm meek. I'm lowly in heart. You'll find rest for your souls, but you gotta stay on the good way, the good path. You have peace, shalom in your soul. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Come unto me, right? Come unto me, right? Isaiah 55, 1 through 3. Everyone that thirsts, come. What he's saying, Matthew, come unto me. Why are you coming? Because you're tired, you're heavy laden, so I give you rest. We go back to the prophets. Isaiah 55, 1 through 3. Everyone that thirsts, come ye to the waters. And he that hath no money, come ye and buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfy not? Hearken, hearken, hearken. Right, listen unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Did he just say that in Matthew? For the most part. Incline your ear. Learn of me. But you can't learn unless you what? Come unto me. And you can't come unto him, is what John 6:44 say again? Unless he draws you. He has to draw you to him, and that him is the one that he sent, not another him. So you got to incline your ear, come unto me here, and your soul shall live.
Hallelujah.
Now make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. We want God to turn, put in your notes, Joseph 45 and 18. I'm sorry. Genesis. They were like, Joseph, what book is that? See, I'm fraud. Genesis 45 and 18, and then Exodus 18 and 15. And we'll see Joseph saying the same thing. Come unto me. so that you may what? Live.
Yeah.
We'll get to Exodus, and Moses is saying, hey, the people come, they come unto me that I may judge, make good judgments for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got one, Joseph, saying, come unto me, who's like a king.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Moshe, who's one like a judge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what them knuckleheads say again in Samuel?
Give
Give us
us
a king that they may.
judge us.
Have you ever done something for somebody? Or you was going to do something for somebody and they jumped the gun, but they didn't know you was going to already do that? That's not Elohim. That's the real good, the true Elohim. Hey, we needed this. We need that. Can I get that? Man, I already done that. Like you're not paying attention. Don't think old. We can't think old. We can't think old paths. We have to perceive it as ancient, something that's ancient. Okay. When you say my name, put some respect on it. Not respect. Put some respect on it. When you say my name, gotta put some respect. So we're talking about the Ancient of Days. It should make us, because he's that dude. Right? He's that one. Ain't that what Marcel's wife say? That dude's dude. He's that dude. Okay? What that say, students?
Atik yomin. Atik yomin.
Atik yomin. Atik. This is Aramaic for Ancient of Days. Because remember, Daniel was written in Aramaic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the old path. Okay, so Ancient of Days. So let's turn really quick. We're about done. Revelation 1. Revelation 1. Remember what Job said about someone being lifted up in the wind. We're talking about, anyway, Revelation 1 and 8. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end of the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. Right? Which is in like going past. Okay, I'm sorry, which is in like right now. Which was, past. And which is to come, future. Okay, Daniel 7. Daniel 7, really quick. Daniel 7. I'll put 7 in. We're going to get there. If it ain't. Daniel 7 will be in 9. Daniel 7 and 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, his thrones like a fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands and thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. And the judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I even beheld till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to a burning flame. We looked at that, right, when we was talking about, right, we had that little 4-part series, talking about Babylon, and as the world turns, remember that? Okay, right, and that's happened in Revelation, right, that there was a lake of fire where the beast went in, right, so he sees this. That's deep. He sees it. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season of time. And I saw in a night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days. So you have one that's like the Son of Man on these winds, and he's going to the Ancient of Days. Do we see that?
Yes.
And they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. It's pretty heavy. So when we look at the old path, or the ancient way, the Ancient of Days, we look at what Daniel describes, the Ancient of Days, and then the one like the Son of Man who goes before the Ancient of Days to receive this power and this authority. So then when Job is like, hey man, this dude was so cold, like even That was Daniel 29. Just go back and read on your own time. Job 29 and 30. Start Matthew 26 quickly. Matthew 26. I might have that for you. Yep, I do. I got you. See? I care for you. I love you. Matthew 26, 63 through 64. But Yahshua held his peace, and the high priest answered, said to him, I adjure thee, the living Elohim, that thou tell us whether thou be the Mashiach, the son of Elohim. Yahshua said to him, thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Now we know what the high priest did. He got so mad, he ripped his stuff. But what Yahshua said was what we just read in Daniel 7. So they would have knew that. He said that I'm going to be the one coming on the winds. Job talked about someone being brought down but then lifted up with the winds. Daniel like, man, this dude, he was like, I can't describe him. He was like the Son of Man. And he was on the wings of the wind. And he went to the Ancient of Days. And the Ancient of Days, long story short, blessed him. And Yahshua said, so they said, no, are you the Mashiach or not? Staggering and stumbling. He said, you'll see me coming. I'm going to have all power. I'll be coming on the clouds of heaven too. He said, wait. He said, now put in your notes Leviticus 19 and 12 and Numbers 30 and 2. Leviticus 19 and 12. Numbers 30 and 2. And when he says, I adjure thee, we'll see in the Torah when that he's pretty much making him swear by the name of Yah.
What was
Numbers 30 and 2. 30 and 2. So in the Torah, you'll see why Yahshua did answer. Because you'll see that in the Torah, in Leviticus 19 and 12 and 30 and 2, that he's asking him a question. And it's like trial. You know, you got to swear to tell the truth, never truth, help you God. So that's kind of like the Hebrew version of that, and that's why he answered the way he answered. So, but we got to keep on moving. All right. So now John 19, 14 and 15, and it was the preparation of the Passover. And about 6 hours, he said to the Yahudim, "Behold your king, behold your king." But they cried out, "Away with him, away with him." Mm-hmm. We've heard this before, right? Mm-hmm. In 1 Samuel, right? Pilate saith, unto them shall I crucify your king. The chief priest answered, we have no king. We got Caesar. He close to a God king, ain't he? His face on the money. We got Caesar. We straight with this fellow. I don't care how many sick he healed. Y'all heard about the Lazarus myth? They hustle. They pulled that off. Being slick. They being slick. So, let's look at 1 Samuel really quick, 8th chapter. So, you see, this they said, we don't want Yahshua to be our king. We want Caesar. Okay? We want Caesar. Now, 1 Samuel 8. Okay, 1 Samuel 8, we'll pick up in 10. And the reason Samuel told all the words of the Lord to the people that asked him a king. He said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. Okay, he's going to break down. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. He will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s. I will set them to ear his ground, to reap his harvest, and to make instruments of war and instruments of his chaos. And he will take your daughters to be confectioners. Perfumers, okay. Okay, King James. And to be cooks and to be bakers. He will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. He will take the tenth of your seed of your vineyards and give to his officers, to his servants. And he will take your men servants, your maid servants, and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants, and ye shall cry out in the day because of your king, which shall have chosen you, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nah, I'm good. They said, nay, but we will have a king over us, so that we may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. Now, think about this description that Shmuel gave them. And then think about what they said in John 19. And they said, no, we don't want him. We don't want this king. Our king is Caesar. Did Caesar tax them? Did Caesar take their stuff? The deep end. Deep end. So now we look at John 19:9 and through 22. And Pilate wrote a title, put over the cross. And the writing was Jesus of Nazareth, the king of the Yehudim. This title then read many of the Yehudim. So the Yehudim saw this. For the place where Yeshua was crucified was nigh to the city. And it was written in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. This is where people get messed up right here. It was in 3 different languages. And I guarantee you they did not all sound or look the same. It's all the sacred namers. Don't say it this way. Say it that way. It was in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin to make of a surety that you know that the person that died, this tombstone says Yeshua, Yehoshua, Yahawashai, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Yehudim. Verse 21, this is the chief priest of the Jews to Pilate. Right, not the king of the Yehudim, but that he said, I am king of the Yehudim. Pilate answered, what I have written, I have written. You know how much magnitude they got right there? Remember they were having that one-on-one with Yeshua and Pilate? And Pilate's like, man, you ain't going to answer me? I got power to save you or have you killed. Now remember, Yeshua messed up right now. He looked at us and said, you ain't got, I'm going to summarize, you ain't got no power except what my Father from on high is giving me. Do what you got to do. You got to play your part, Pilate. They got to play their part. Because in the latter time, y'all watching, got to have a way. And I'm doing it by a new and living way that's been consecrated, right? The veil, there's to say his flesh, right? Because that was in Hebrews 10. And then in Ephesians 2, right, that the wall was torn down and that there was enmity was abolished. In other words, the seed of the woman, actually, you have free arsenal to crush the seed of the serpent. But your mind has to be like him. And if your mind is not like him, then you cannot fight like him. That means you cannot maneuver the sword or your word. I mean, when he had that confrontation with Satan, he didn't, angels come down and burn him. Angels come down and chain him. He hit him with some Deuteronomy. Backhand. Bop. So you see how you're supposed to fight. But if your mind ain't right, you a loose cannon in this thing. Psalms 5 and 8. Lead me, lead me, lead me. So we see that the king is leading. Amen. Right? So we get like this title in John 19 because he is the king. And they crowned him king. They crowned him king and put on his tombstone he's the king. How many of y'all go to the cemetery and see the tombstone? That person ain't there, but that tombstone is there. So they put like a tombstone over him saying he's the king. Verse Psalms 5 and 8. Lead me. The king leads the way. Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of mine enemies. Right? So because the king, he is the one that brought this enmity between these seeds. He did that. And he did it through the flesh. So since he did it, now if you become born again, you walk in the spirit, though you're in the flesh, you can do what? You can crush the serpent's seed. You can stomp on the head. In thy righteousness because of mine enemies, make thy way straight before my face. Jeremiah 31 and 21. Set thee up waymarks, make thee a high heap, set thine heart toward the highway, even the way which thou wentest, turn again. So you got to go back. O virgin Israel. Now how can he say, O virgin? These folks that went off and worship all kind of gods and did all this kind of stuff. So flip that to our time. We done worship all kind of gods. We done all kind of stuff and trick-or-treating and Halloween and boogie-boo and all this kind of stuff. We done messed around and had all kind of sex and doing stuff. And we done all kind of stuff. And he said, if you turn back, you'll be a virgin again. I'll break this. He said, if you turn back, you'll be a virgin again. That if you turn, that you can become clean again. But we read that in Hebrews if you're paying attention. If you got a right heart, you can come in. I'm going to hit you with the water. Because when he got stuck with the Spirit, the blood and water came out. You can't go before him without the blood. But if I'm covered in the blood, then I can go in. Moses, you tell them I'm coming through that night. And I want every firstborn in Egypt, every child, every beast, every creeping thing. But if they got the blood, the destroyer will not come in.
Yeah. Thank you.
If they got the blood of the lamb, the destroyer cannot come in. But every beast, every person, I don't care if it's Pharaoh or the slave or the grasshopper or the cow, I want their firstborn. We're going to stick to these. We ain't talked about these since probably Passover. Yah's 4 I wills. So first I will was I will be your God. Exodus 6 and 7. I will be your God. Exodus 29 and 45. I will dwell among you. That what Job was talking about, a king in the midst of these people. What's that knucklehead dude, wizard in Numbers? Balaam? He prophesied, there's a shout of a king among them. Is that not what he says? A shout of a king among them. I can't curse, a shout of a king. It was through the seed that one would come. Number 3, that I will walk with you. Leviticus 26 and 12. I will walk with you. I will walk with you. Very important. John 14 and 20. I will be in you and you in me. He gonna win. He gonna win. I will be your God. I will dwell among you. I will walk with you. I will be in you and you will be in me. Them Yah's 4 I will. And when you get married to somebody, do you take her to be? I do. Or I will. Y'all holding up his part. We got to hold up ours. He holding up his part. We got to hold up ours. We're gonna keep the way we got that Romans 15, 5 and 4 memorized. We're gonna get them 4 I wills memorized. Okay? Because he said, I will be your God. I will be your God. It's going to happen. He said, I'm gonna dwell among you. You know what? That wasn't enough in a relationship. They say, you know what? I gotta walk with you. Each one of you. I'll walk with you, hold your hand, help you. I'll walk with you. Then that didn't become enough. They say, you know, I'll be in you. Because as time goes on, like Kepha said, he said, hey, as Yahshua showed me, I got to take this thing off. Before I take it off, I got to get this thing right. Shaul came along scholastically with intelligence and just vernacular, powerful. Say, your body a temple. Get your house in order. But we done. Todah Yah, praise Yah. Bashem Yahshua, Todah Yah, thanking Yah. In the name of Yahshua. For the word, for direction, and for where he's going, and for his mercy, because mercy is new every day.
Amen.
We don't have good days sometimes. Sometimes we don't have good weeks. Sometimes we don't have good months. Sometimes we have years. And y'all say, you know what? I ain't going to kill you.
Thank you.
I ain't going to kill you. So the mercies and the grace is so good so that we can get ourselves together. Get our house in order. Get ourselves together. And then we can walk right. All you want to do is just walk right.
Yeah.
Then you're walking right, you're going to love your neighbor. You're going to be humble. You're going to try to do things the right way. At the best you can. When you're talking to people and people that's maybe as Christian don't understand, when you say law, they think you're doing something extra over the moon. So, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to go to the moon. I just honor the Shabbat. It's a different day than you do. But I'm not going to work on it. I'm going to treat it, as I say, from sundown to sundown. Forget about that 12-hour mess. I'm going to give them, I need that time.
Yeah.
I need that time. I need it. It will work me. It will work me. I need that time. Love it. That's what it said in Psalm 5. Lead me in thy righteousness. We gotta want to be like him. He said, I get dressed up in righteousness. I want to dress like him. I'm trying to follow him. Anyway, so website stuff, email if you want to reach out to us, all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, prayer line and Monday, 5:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Bible studies live 8:30 or 8:40, somewhere in there. With that being said, just peace to everybody and just do the best you can. But you do gotta do.
Amen.
Okay, and you can't be looking at what nobody else doing. You do the best that you can and let y'all work it out. And we're just thankful that y'all got us here, and we just pray that we keep ourselves right so that if y'all send people, we're able to help them, to equip them. And that's our job. It's a small little hospital, small little rehab center.
Amen.
You come in, you get what you need, so then you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Cause we all some soldiers. We some soldiers. And when it's time of war, you might get shot in your leg. You might run over a landmine. And you go to the dock, you get yourself, you get your gun, you get your script, you go right back out there to war.
Hallelujah.
That being said, peace to tribes of Israel, shalom, and